flag and then remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Mrs. McGarvey, please call the roll.
Richard Cree.
Here.
Jeffrey Gallagher. Richard Gates.
Here.
George Krenchak.
Here.
Kenneth Menser.
Here.
Dr. Andy Mulholland.
Here.
Leah Sinclair. Here. Kay Stiver. Here. Gary Wallstrom.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. And we're going to roll right into public comment. Public. Any comment tonight? Where's our reporter lady at? Oh, we have a guest reporter. Nice to meet you. Okay, we'll move right past that into administrative reports.
Thank you. I'm going to start
We're
with.
going to do that first. Well, you got a lot of order here now. You're messing with me. Who changed it? Wow. I don't like it that way.
Patty's idea.
Oh,
We
I will officially change it back. We're going to go to committee business. What? Oh, where's the students at? She's here, but she's on the agenda. Well, that's not very good. Okay. Who's our student? Is this our student representative to the board? Hi.
Hi.
Who are you? Since you're not on my list,
No, you're good. I'm Grace Kozak.
Okay, Grace. The
Okay.
floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. I was a junior representative last year. My name is Grace Kozak, and I'm a senior this year. So we have already jumped into a new school year, which is really hard to believe. But first off, before we start into that business, I would personally like to thank Mrs. Gobert and Miss Lloyd for the wonderful time we had for homecoming prep last week. It was a really nice week, and I know all the students really enjoyed it, whether they weren't on the court or whether they were just participating in activities. We had a really nice time. Although school has only been in session for 1 month, seniors have already been given cap and gown order forms, which is really hard to believe. And we have started preparation for senior projects, which will take place on October 3rd, so 2 weeks from yesterday. The Drama Club will soon begin its preparations for this year's musical, which is to be announced shortly. We're all waiting very impatiently. I know we're all excited. And we look forward to performing for our community again this year, and hopefully at the end of the year bringing home some Isaac Awards. We also just look forward to a really great school year, and we're happy to be back at Glendale. And I know us seniors are anxious to see what this year has in store for us.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on being the
Thank you.
All right. I guess we can do administrative reports first. You're up, Mr. Gilday.
So within your packet is some of our reports. Well, something that I do want to bring up to the board is our early dismissal dates. That they were the dates as a whole were approved before I arrived. So the board as a whole, we need to sit down and discuss what dates we're going to have for those early dismissal dates. So I don't know if we want to have any discussion now in regards to those. If you would like myself, me, the admin team, and the department heads about what dates we could have and present it to the board next month. But we'd like to get moving on these because school's going by quickly, as we know.
I think you should move to your administrators and come up with what you want. Everyone okay with that?
Just to let the board also know, the admin team they've started their walkthroughs and observations. I know some observations have already been completed. For next month, I'll have a breakdown of how many walkthroughs and observations have been completed per administrator. And then I have met with our principals, and we'll meet individually regarding our principal goals based on 4 domains. Domain 1, strategic and cultural leadership. Domain 2, systems leadership. Domain 3, leadership for learning. And domain 4, professional and community leadership. I'll meet with the board. I'll explain to the board and executive next week. Oh, sorry, not next week, next month. We're not meeting next week.
Oh, please, I hope not.
Next month regarding all the specific goals. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't say just principal goals. It's also goals for our director of special education as well. I'll go over those goals. I know Danielle's going to talk about this in a little bit, but we did, as everyone knows, apply for and receive free breakfast and lunch, which is fantastic. Something which was brought to my attention, which I was unaware of, about a couple weeks ago, about Chromebook insurance. I spoke with Mr. Frank. The Chromebook insurance form that we have was adopted by a number of different schools, with Mr. Frank adopting it, but some confusion came up, and no, this is nothing against Mr. Frank at all. He did his due diligence in putting this together, but some confusion came up regarding parents, if they can just opt out and not have insurance, or do they have to take the device home with them. So I'm going to present to the board next month an updated technology plan, which includes a cover letter that shows that a parent, one, wants the protection plan, two, doesn't want the protection plan, or three, doesn't want the plan or the device to be brought home. So it's spelled out more clearly for parents. We know it's a challenging time for everybody, and I think some families were thought they have to pay that insurance no matter what. So we're going to revise this a little bit more moving forward and get it to the board for approval, and so we can have it for future. Safety team meeting, we had one yesterday. It's our second meeting. It was a fantastic meeting. Although our PCCD grant money isn't in yet, we have not spent it except on paper. We have not bought anything yet, but we do have some updated quotes. We do a big expenditure, two big expenditures. One is going to be on vaping sensors in the bathrooms, and the second one is going to be on shatterproof film to go on the outside of all, on the inside of all lower level doors and windows. So what that means, if I want to get into a building, if I take a brick or a heavy object, and right now, a sledgehammer, I can break that window and come right in. The shatterproof will not allow me to do that. It will deter me for a period of time before that window breaks. That's going to be a larger expense, but I think the safety committee, was it Greg? Who was the gentleman from the fire department?
Eric Reilly.
Eric from the fire department. It also does trainings regarding active shooters. Said that deterrent, giving students and teachers an extra 30 seconds to a minute is huge. So we're going to look at using some of our PCCD money on that. That's going to take away from a little bit of regarding door alarms we talked about, but we can also purchase some cheaper door alarms. In fact, our system right now would not allow us, and Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, allow us to integrate a sophisticated door alarm into a text message that would go to a staff member or a principal. It's basically an alarm that just when the door opens, an alarm's going to go off. And it's not going to ring anywhere else except for around that door. And right now at the elementary level, that's pretty much what we need at this point. I'm going to be meeting with Steve, the admin, to discuss some infrastructure needs and wants in regards to not only technology, but also just the building itself. Policy reviews were still underway. I did add policy 109 to our review from the admin team before I presented to the board, and I spoke with the board about adding a form to that policy 109. I mentioned to the board in a previous email about the conference. I'd like to still have that still open. It's on the agenda that we could vote no on. If no one wants to go, we vote no. I will not go by myself. I feel that school leadership conference, in conjunction with Pennsylvania School Boards Association as well as PASA, the School Administrators Association, is very very beneficial as a team, or at least a team of 2 or 3. But once again, if no one chooses to go, we can just vote no on that. And there's some information in your packets about the agenda for that conference. I will say, after 9 years, we are now participating in the academic decathlon, which we're very excited about. It's a group of students who go and compete against other schools in regards to public speaking, testing, debates, and so forth. Pretty excited about having that start. I can't wait to go and see them in action. I will be meeting with our department chairs shortly to discuss our curriculum cycle and compile a curriculum and topics to be posted online. In upcoming events, next month we're going to have Dr. Francine Endler, IU10 Executive Director, is going to come to present to the board. And then Mike Hess from ABM Energy Savings is going to be here in November. He's going to talk about the energy savings if we upgrade some of our lighting fixtures, our plumbing fixtures, and what that savings could look like to the district in the future. And then there's just two things regarding myself for the future, conference, and then a meeting I have to go to at the IUA. So other than that, that is all for me.
Okay. Mrs. Batcher?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Yes.
You were saying about making a form out to the parents, like, I want insurance, I don't want
Yes.
insurance. Okay, now, those who don't want insurance but want a computer, they'll get it free?
In school, they can't take it home.
They can't take it,
They
okay.
can't take it home. And it
Okay.
says it on the document.
Now, is that expensive, that insurance? I don't know.
It's $30 a year. We call a lot of other districts that charge anywhere from 40 to 50, so we kept it down low.
And some things that Eric, I'm sorry to interrupt, but some things that Eric and I have been talking about, and I think we mentioned in the admin meeting, is the rotation of our devices. That some schools, they usually last 5 to 8 years, am I correct in saying that with devices?
Yeah, about typically 5 to 6.
So if a child, this is just, once again, nothing that we has approved. Something that we've discussed, that if a child receives a Chromebook in 7th grade, then by the time they graduate, if they bought insurance every year, they can just keep the Chromebook. If they didn't buy insurance, but they have a Chromebook on site, they can maybe buy a Chromebook for $130 to take for the first year of college. So that's some logistics that we want to work out, because we're looking at the possibility of two Chromebook cycles, one elementary cycle and one high school cycle, maybe junior, senior high school cycle. So we'll look at how that's all going to look. So if we receive a Chromebook in kindergarten and it lasts all the way to 6th grade, what happens to that Chromebook after 6 years? Do we sell it to the person if they bought insurance for a percentage of time? Do we give it to the person? Do we give a discount? Something like that. So that's some logistics that we have to work out still.
Because I was wondering if that insurance, is it possible to use some of our ESER's funds to?
That's a great question. I will ask. I'll ask our ESER's guru, Christy Braniff,
And
on
if
that
we go
one.
that way, I would like to see all students entitled to that, just like we get free breakfast and lunch, all students. I mean, I don't know it's too expensive, but I'm just saying, it's something for us to consider.
Any other questions?
Anybody else? Okay, moving right along, Mrs. Batcher. It's not Mrs. Batcher. Nothing from
There's
Mrs.
not an
Batcher.
issue.
Mr. Stacy, secondary report.
So Grace took a little bit of my thunder away, but that's okay. So I was going to talk about, we do have senior projects coming up where the seniors come in and do their, basically present on a specific career that they are interested in. And then we sit them down and we kind of go through a mock interview with them to try to, get them used to that process. That's going to be coming up on October 3rd. And then we did have a really nice homecoming weekend, actually week. We had all kinds of stuff going on all week long, theme days and such. And then our king and queen happened to be here this evening, our prom king and queen, with Hunter and Grace.
Homecoming, not prom, homecoming.
Or homecoming. Homecoming. And some other things that happened at the game. We had a huge group of alumni cheerleaders, which we thought was really nice. We also had our student that rode her horse for the Star Spangled Banner. So it was really quite a nice week. We had a great dance on Saturday, very well attended. A lot of people were there.
How many students? About 300, you think? Well, between the couple districts?
About 200.
Oh, 200, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was 270.
Yeah, so it was really a nice week. That's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And I'd like to see a horse brought back again.
What's that?
I'd like to see that horse brought back again.
I already booked them for next year's homecoming.
Okay. Even the regular games.
Yeah, we talked about that. We'll see if they can fit it in their schedule. But yeah, she was very excited about doing it. And you weren't there at the stadium. I've been around horses before when I was younger. Hearing that horse neigh and it was amazing. Gives you goosebumps. And the way this young lady, seventh grader, took this horse over, this 27-year-old ginormous horse, was coming down towards me, and I was in the one corner of our end zone. And the horse started to buck a little bit because, one, the people standing, but they said also the horse is a barrel racer. And when it started to go around the bend, it saw the goalpost. What they think, which is ideal, which is true, and it's wanted to go around that barrel. And this 7th grader took the horse and pulled it down and just continued to trot around. It was amazing. So her name is Jenna Beers. Congratulations to her and her family. Fantastic, fantastic job. And I agree 100%.
Very good. Anything for Mr. Stacy? Mr. Kozak?
Yes, sir, real quick. So the school-wide positive behavior program, we are going to be working with administration to create some safety drills. We're going to do a couple times throughout the year in accordance with our ALIS protocol that we follow here at it's both the elementary and the high school. We're looking at having 4 safety drills this school year. So we've done those in the past, and kind of with COVID, everything kind of got pushed back a little bit, and that's something that we want to start doing again this year. The unique thing this year is that since school-wide positive behavior involves students, students will be involved in kind of the planning process a little bit with admin and the teachers, leading that group as well.
Anything else?
That is all.
Rick, can you also, I just want to mention that we've installed, with the help of Steve, 2 gates outside the back end of the gym, by the cafeteria and by the band room. So during evening events, kids or anybody, they can't go out that back door of the gym and then go into the school. So it secures the school a little bit better.
Alrighty. Maintenance reports. Mr. Skiback.
On the construction here, J.C. Orr, slowed down a little bit here, but the electric's up to 90% completed. Duct work, they're about the same right now. J.C. Orr was to start the tile floor this week, but they had a problem with the self-leveler. They put on, it was a little rough, so they have some guys come in. He looked at the floor to put the tile down, so they're gonna have to come back and redo the self-leveling again. So that'll be next week here. They should be up for that. The casework, I think you guys all got the email on that. Won't be till October 21st. So that's all gonna be coming now. Hopefully it won't be pushed back anymore. October 3rd, the electricians will be back here for the rooms up here to go over the lighting with the teachers and the maintenance on how to work it, the dimmers and everything else there that they have hooked up. October 13th here, we have another scheduled construction meeting also. That's pretty much it for the construction. Not on the school grounds here right now, just outside. Worked the guys in the last couple of weeks here. We got a dumpster from GNR to get rid of some of the scrap metal we had on site here on the grounds. There's quite a bit of desk, old tanks, things like that. So GNR, they only charged $125 for the dumpster. You load the scrap, whatever your profit is off, they just take the $125 and the rest is the school. So it's a pretty good deal. So they dropped the dumpster off. We've probably got it halfway full right now, and there's still quite a bit to go in. The guys are breaking the desks down, cutting them up, trying to pack as much as they can in. Also, the guys in the last couple weeks here, they cut down both basketball hoops down near the post. They were rotted at the ground, so we're gonna have to redo those there. They just pulled them out, concrete ball and all, and they were bending from the kids hanging, but they were just getting weak over time. That's about it for the grounds. Patched up some shingle roofs here out the barns. They were leaking.
Next up, special ed report. Mr. Epley.
Mr. Epley, I spoke with him. He has a son at a football game, and he definitely apologized. The second year on the job, but actually, I'll take full responsibility. I didn't tell him to come to the meeting when he was hired, but he will be at the next meeting.
Good deal. Business manager report, Mr. Weston.
Other than the basic everyday things, budget taxes, I'm putting in a lot of hours with our local CPA auditors, getting the 2021-22 books closed out, and journal entries, and clearing accounts, and clearing up loose ends, and we have to have the annual financial done by the end of next month, October 30th, so we should be in good shape. I think we're ahead of the curve right now. And hopefully, probably in the next month, I'll actually start the beginning phases of 2023-24 budget. This is going to be so exciting.
Alrighty, technology report, Mr. Frank.
All I have is the Chromebooks and the pair of laptops I talked to you guys about with the ECF funding that we got for free. They have arrived, they're set up, they're handed out to everybody, and everybody is extremely excited, so.
Sure. And last but not least, food services. Mrs. Denise.
So, as Mr. Gilday said, we have been approved for the Community Eligibility Provision Program, or CEP. The program is based off of direct certification percentages of the district. So what this means for the district is, based on our percentages, all students are eligible to receive free breakfast and lunch. So it's a huge benefit to the district, to the students, and to the families. And I can say, it started yesterday, and I've already seen an increase in participation both at the elementary and at the high school for breakfast and lunch. We have more kids eating, so. And then on September 7th, we were at the open house. I had some staff at the high school, and I was down at the elementary, and we handed out samples, and I had the opportunity to meet some parents and see some kids, so that was a fun event. That's all I have.
Thank you much. Alright. Any questions for anybody before we move into committee business? Nothing heard. We'll move into athletics. Mr. Walter.
Okay, number one, consideration to approve John Snyder as the 2022-23 assistant junior high wrestling coach, pending receipt of all required paperwork. Number two, consideration to approve 2 athletic volunteers, Mary Beth Frank, junior high volleyball, Scott Thompson, girls varsity basketball. Number three, consideration to approve the use of the name Glendale Junior Vikings by a junior high baseball club. And number four, consideration to approve the use of old baseball uniforms by the junior high baseball club. And that is all.
Okay. Questions, comments? Alright. Thank you much. Personnel committee.
Number one, consideration to accept the resignation of Nicole James as a professional staff member with a release date no later than 11/14/22 and to advertise the vacancy. Number two, consideration to accept the resignation of Brandon Dick as assistant band director. Number three, consideration to approve the 2022-23 list of class and club advisors and department chaperones. Number four, consideration to approve a memorandum of understanding with the Glendale Education Association regarding 2022-23 reimbursement for class coverage with ESSER 3 funding. Number five, consideration to approve Andrew Peacock and Samantha Peacock as district volunteers. Number six, consideration to approve Lauren Clarkson to fill an elementary teacher vacancy retroactive to 9/6/22 at a 2022-23 step 1 salary base of $42,342. Number seven, consideration to approve William Morrison as a long-term substitute business education teacher for the remainder of the 2022-23 school year or until the position is filled at a step 18 salary base of $67,392 commencing 9/20/22. Number eight, consideration to approve Sean Gilday, superintendent, as school safety and security coordinator. Number nine, consideration to approve Sarah Watt as a paraprofessional substitute pending receipt of all required paperwork. Number 10, consideration to approve Cassandra Irvin as a mentor for 1 new staff member and Marcy Mazinko as a mentor for 2 new staff members. Number 11, consideration to amend the current Act 93 management plan to remove the position of supervisor of special education as a management staff member. Number 12, Consideration to approve any interested board member to attend the PASA PSBA School Leadership Conference in Pocono Manor, PA on 10/31/22 through 11/1/22 at an approximate cost of $1,000 per member. That is all.
Questions, comments? Good, you?
Number 3, I'd like to see the department chairpersons, a different way of selecting them. I'd like to see them selected on all staff would be involved in that, and it'd be on a 1 or a 2-year alternating schedule. Because this way we talk about making all the teachers feel involved and try to keep them here. Well, let's do some action and do something to keep them instead of just talk about this stuff. Let's really show what we mean this. Because I know there's teachers out there now that still have applications out for schools for this selection. It's the same old all the time.
Anyone else have comment, questions on that?
I have some, number 8, the consideration to approve the superintendent of school safety security coordinator, like what all does that entail?
The state requires administrator to be a school safety coordinator. Mr. DeSabito was the school safety coordinator for the prior years, so it has to transition to me. We talked about the emergency operation plans, basically just having the safety meetings with the staff, with the safety team, organizing with Mr. Lloyd, our safety trainings, our emergency operations plan, working with Mr. Kozak and Mr. Lloyd on our threat analysis, our evacuation plans, those kind of things. Nothing regarding health and safety, just the safety.
Anything else in personnel? Okay, moving right along, building and grounds.
Yes, consideration to approve the following use of the facility request. A, Glendale football boosters. Sam Kozeski to use the high school cafeteria on Thursday from 9/8/22 to 10/27/22 for team meals. B, student council Christine Lloyd to use the high school gym on 9/17/22 for a dance. C, Glendale boys basketball boosters Jamie Kipka to use the elementary facility room on various dates during the 2020-2023 school year for meetings. D, Glendale girls basketball boosters Shan Duprez to use the gym from October 2022 to March 2023 for practices with all the scheduled through the athletic director. E, Glendale Music Department Jeremiah DeVoe to use the facility from 11/17/22 to 11/19/22 to host the 2022 Clearfield County Band Festival. F, GHS Indoor Twirlers to use the high school gym and cafeteria on 2/24/23 to 2/25/23 for a competition with an exact time scheduled with the athletic director. G, the Glendale debate team Greg Mazingo to use the high school gym cafeteria and classrooms on 3/11/23 for a debate tournament. H, GHS Indoor Twirlers Jazz Band to use the facility on 3/17/23 and 3/18/23 for a competition with the exact time scheduled with the athletic director. I, GHS guides Kim Kozak to use the auditorium on 5/17/23 for scholarship night. And number 2, consideration to approve the district emergency operation plan. And that would be it.
Thank you, sir. Questions, comments in building and grounds? Okay, moving into discipline and curriculum.
Looking for consideration to approve the following field trip requests. A, Jeremiah Dovo to take 60 students to People's Natural Gas Field on 8/18 with district costs of $267, transportation, additional chaperones, Julie Knowles, Sandra Beers, Gina Worthington, and Melissa Hamilton. This is retroactive. B, Larry Patoric to take 15 students from Shannon Valley High School on 10/7/22 and 10/8/22 for county chorus with a district cost of $637, $142 for the bus, $375 admissions, and $120 for subs. C, Nancy Gobert, Georgia Rice to take 18 students to the Horseshoe Curve on 10/20/22 with district costs of $348, $108 for the bus, $240 for subs. D. Greg Mazinko, Kristen Lloyd, to take 50 students to Piccarilla Pond at Glendale Lake on 9/23/22 with district costs of $445, $97 for the bus, $180 for pizza, and $240 for subs. E. Greg Mazinko to take 80 students to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum on 11/10/22 with district costs of $600 for subs. Additional chaperones: Brenda Wilson, Marion Stackhouse, Kristen Lloyd, Marcy Mazinko, Elise Giddings, Teresa Richardson, and Heather Anderson. F. Larry Patoric and Jeremiah Dobo to take 90 students to Walt Disney World on 6/4/23 to 6/8/23 with no district cost. Additional chaperones: Jenny Williams, Sue Ammerman, Beth Lloyd, Lisa Detweiler, Gina Worthington, Sandra Beers, Melissa Hamilton, and Brian Nakovich. Number 2, consideration to retroactively approve and alter schedule for a senior JV to participate in School to Work program effective 9/7/22. Consideration, number 3, consideration to retroactively approve homebound education for high school student MD for approximately 6 weeks effective 9/6/22. Number 4, consideration to approve home education program request for 6 elementary students, CR, CC, AL, HL, BS for the 2022-23 school year. Number 5, consideration to approve a consulting service agreement with the Central Intermediate Unit 10 for social work services for 5 days per week for the 2022-23 school year at an estimated cost of $92,077.59 with funding provided through Title IV, $14,572, ESSER 3, $21,979.59, and upon approval, PCCD, $55,526. This will replace the previously approved agreement for 3 days per week at an estimated cost of $44,280. Number 6, consideration to approve a Science and Motion subscription agreement with Juniata College for educational services at a cost of $2,000 for the 2022-23 school year with ESSER 3 funding. Number 7, consideration to retroactively approve the purchase of site work curriculum kits for Mind Resources totaling $2,076.42 with ESSER 2 funding. Number 8, consideration to approve the purchase of phonological awareness curriculum from Haggerty totaling $4,372.80 with ESSER 3 funding. Number 9, consideration to approve the purchase of a 1-year assessment reading and math subscription for grades 4 and 5 from Renaissance totaling $4,975.90 with ESSER 3 funding. Number 10, consideration to approve the purchase of high school special education reading materials from Acadians totaling $1,095.60 with ESSER 2 funding. Number 11, consideration to approve the purchase of books for a book study from Barnes & Noble totaling $1,577.10 with ESSER 3 funding. Number 12, consideration to approve the purchase of a math program designed to address gaps in student skills from Touch Math 123 totaling $23,947.89 with ESSER 3 funding. Number 13, consideration to approve an agreement with I Can Talk Clinic with Augmentative and Alternative Communication Services for the 2022-23 school year at an estimated cost of $4,000 per evaluation plus possible travel expenses. Number 14, consideration to approve a letter of agreement with the Alternative Community Resource Program of Johnstown, PA for a mutual referral system for continuity of consumer care for the 2022-23 school year. Number 15, consideration to approve an agreement with Alternative Community Resource Program, ACRP, for the 2022-2023 school year for participation in the ACRP's Children and Adolescent Partial Hospitalization Program in Johnstown at a rate of $100 per day. Number 16, consideration to approve the 2022-23 agreement with Alternative Community Resource Programs of Johnstown, PA for Center for Achievement School for Autism Spectrum Disorder classrooms at $28,800 annually or $160 daily per student. 17, consideration to approve an agreement with Alternative Community Resource Program of Johnstown, PA for ACRP's mental health therapy for students at $60 an hour and $75 for group therapy. And that is all.
That was a lot.
I do have a question though.
Please.
So, number 4, it says, for consideration to approve home education program requested for 6 elementary students. I think one of the ages on here was 4. Are they our student? It said age 4 for the one student in the information we were receiving. Which, I thought they had to be 5 and then it said, gives, in our report it gives names, and I don't wanna, but on this grade. So I just wanted to ask the question if that's our responsibility or not.
Yeah, I think the paperwork is due by like August 1st or sometime in August, but the age, they can turn 5, I believe, by September 1st. So
That's what I wanted.
They're gonna turn 5, basically.
I'm assuming that, I know they did say something about the student, but that would be right.
So I just wanted to clarify that we're following our guideline as it relates to that age. Or age requirement. Cutoffs.
Do a double check on that.
Number 11.
Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, I would like to see that rejected. I don't think we need to have more fluff put on the classroom teachers. And I think that money could be better spent, give it to the IU to come up and train more teachers on some of these major issues that they're having. Or they can take that time and pick new textbooks reading and math. I just think that it's a waste of money.
What is the book?
It's something about reading, but it don't matter what it is.
The book is called Shifting the Balance, 6 Ways to Bring the Science of Reading into the Balanced Literacy Classroom. The chapters are Rethink How Reading Comprehension Begins, Recommitting to Phonemic Awareness Instruction, Reimagining the Way We Teach Phonics, Revising High-Frequency Word Instruction, Reinventing the Ways We Use MSV, and then Reconsidering Text for Beginning Readers.
I think we have a young staff, they've put 4 years in college already. I think let's let them concentrate on the job of what they need to do in that classroom right now. It's an overpowering.
So when we hired Patty, my understanding of hiring them was to have them translate or transition other staff, help them to learn what we lost when they retired and how we measure the readers and add that to our curriculum and the system. So I guess my question is would this book be a part of transitioning that and to teach more hands-on on what they're supposed to learn there?
They have enough on their plates right now. And my assumption was, and that's why I fought this when they asked for this program, I was under the assumption they was gonna come in here and be another hands and help teach these kids face to face. We don't need more supervisors. We need people working with these students. We need to give the teachers time to prepare for the students. They have a lot on their plates, there's a lot going on.
Anybody else? Thoughts, comments?
Who arranged, who's arranging this?
The Patties and Kate.
Okay, so Kate's not here tonight to tell us why this was chosen then.
The synopsis of the book, the Patties would like to use for book study. The purpose is to make sure we're all focused on the why as we are exploring a new book series to purchase. We thought by asking each teacher to read 2 chapters a month, we would be done by December. We use morning times discussing of the books. So yes, it is about the science of reading. Just reinforcing with the teachers the science of reading. I understand what Theo is saying about we have a lot of young teachers already coming in with the knowledge already, but it doesn't hurt to always just increase your knowledge on an ongoing basis. So I see both sides of it.
I think we have a lot of crises right now. I went through this at Penn State worked for a year and 1 semester. First year, we had one professor's books, we all had to buy it, we all had to read it. Next semester, they picked a professor from Indiana. You know what the other professor said? We don't have time to read this. And that was the end of book study. Case is done. I think we have more critical issues on our plates right now than doing book studies.
I don't think it's a terrible idea.
I do when there's critical things up here in their face hitting them right now.
I think there's multiple ways for people to learn different things.
Yep, they don't need that added on.
I think we take it to a vote and we decide.
I think so too.
We'll have a roll call vote on number 11. That's number 11, right?
Yes.
I have something else on this, number
Okay,
9.
George.
That's with the AR reading and all that. I don't have a problem passing that for the subscriptions, but.
Which one are you talking about?
Number 9.
Oh, number 9, okay.
But that's the one with all those thousands of books in it. Is there?
20,000 books.
Is there any way of policing what those books those kids are using for their reports or whatever they're using that for?
Policing how, like how?
Like some of those book titles I brought in here, how do we know that's not
Well,
that?
those are high school books. This is grades 4 and 5. Those book titles are, majority of them are high school books. Secondly, it's all by choice. So if a child wants to read a book, even from home, you know, you might went shopping and you found the book that is on the AR list. You can buy that book for your child and they can read it and take the AR test. The books don't necessarily have to come from the school. They come from, there's 20,000 titles. So they come from anywhere.
So there's no way to get that rest of those books.
I can talk with the staff about categorizing every single book that they have in their classroom libraries that are personal books. I don't really think we have a policy on that. I can look into that for you.
So
Okay, so this, you want a list of the 20,000
well,
books?
I'm just saying, like, maybe some of the books aren't appropriate for 4th and 5th grade, like some of those other books that we have in the school now.
How would you propose we would police
Well,
20,000
if the
books?
schools, if the kid's using one of those books in the classroom, can't the teacher read the, you know, what the book is about before the, or something?
I think the teachers have an idea of what the books, kids read them, then they have to take a test.
Right.
Online. So from that, you should have an idea what the book is about. The test is gonna be what the book is about.
The teacher doesn't know beforehand what book they're reading, they just.
A child can pick any book. Like I said, you could buy a book for your child, and they can take the test on the AR test.
Prior to this, they would, George, because all the books were on site books, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not all the AR books. So not all the teacher might not have all AR
They're not
books.
gonna have all 20,000.
No, but I meant prior to this program, they were all, AR reading was all done from books out of the school.
Yeah, but now you can actually get books, AR books at home. You can buy any book, any book.
Right, there's a list, like, there's a list,
20.
you can go to the, I mean, when my kids had to do AR, you would go to they go to the bookstore and they'd say, okay, I wanna, they pick from their range or their level, and then they would, and by point level. So they would determine, like, if they had to have 10 points or 15 points for this, for the 9 weeks, they would figure out, okay, I need to read 2 or 3 books or whatever it is in my level of reading. And it was assigned, you know, I mean, as a parent, I could say, no, you're not reading that.
Well, yeah, that's fine, I'm just saying, like, obviously some of these books that are here in the school right now even are a little sketchy. I mean, I just think, I don't have a problem with that, I just think maybe it should be looked at.
I think there's a certain degree of the parents should look at what their kids are reading and decide whether they like that book or not too. You know, I can't police what the parents are gonna do.
No.
I think what on the list though that you had questioned number 4 that we want to look at. Right?
That's not this list.
No.
No.
No, that's just the ones that we have at the school right now.
Right. 4 to look at.
Well, I didn't look at every book.
I'm just saying, it was 4 out of a list of what, I don't know.
I think I handed out 7 of them.
Yeah, but the list that you submitted, there was 4 books up that list. That's what the case is saying, right?
Look at it.
Would you like to vote separately on that?
No.
Anybody else have anything in discipline and curriculum? Okay, moving on to finance.
Item 1, consideration to approve the treasurer's report dated 8/31/22. Number 2, consideration to approve accounts paid totaling $970,004.12. Number 3, consideration to approve district participation in the PDE community eligibility provision, which enables the offer of free breakfast and lunch meals to all students, retroactive to 8/24/22. Number 4, consideration to approve an agreement with an industrial appraisal to conduct a physical inventory of the district and valuation services at a cost of $6,810. Number 5, consideration to approve the purchase of fencing from Craig Fencing Incorporated, totaling $9,275, pending approval of the PCCD grant funding for this purchase. Number 6, consideration to approve the purchase of environmental sensors and 5-year licenses from Gov Connection Incorporated, Ricotta totaling $37,162.50, pending approval of PCCD grant funding for this purchase. And number 7, consideration to approve the purchase of safety and security materials from CDW-G totaling $12,048.35, Professor's 2 funding. And that's it.
Thank you. George, would you mind doing transportation?
Could I just ask one question?
Oh, I'm sorry, Theo, go ahead.
Okay, on the payment list, I just want elaboration on what 000788854. It says master teacher, the master teacher, and it says PAPA online training.
You have a page there, Theo?
Page 4 on the payment list.
Page 4, list of payments. What was the number again?
000788854.
Okay, gotcha, yep.
Who uses that or what? I don't understand.
I'm about 99% sure that is how the pairs and stuff, like, aren't they required to take tests, or the pairs are required? I think that's how the pairs take their tests and do all their, because anytime I've ever, yeah, because I know I've had a few of them come to me over the years about helping to get the master teacher, and that's typically with the pairs. Again, I can't tell you everything that it does, but I do know that it definitely deals with pairs.
But that's okay, that's
Yes.
fine. I'm just wondering what it was.
I'll find out and.
Okay, that's fine, that's what.
Well, I'll verify it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Okay. Anything else in finance? Nope. Okay, George, would you do transportation, please?
Yeah, number 1, consideration to retroactively approve a parent agreement to provide transportation for the 2022-23 school year. Number 2, consideration to retroactively approve an additional stop to 2022-23 bus routes plus J9 due to new students effective 8/25/22.
Questions, comments, transportation? None being heard. Move on. Absolutely.
Personnel committee number 12, just so we know how to vote, well, the board knows how to vote moving forward. Does any board member want to attend the conference?
I can't this year, but I certainly would be interested
Okay,
next year. I'll be
no.
away.
I'm not able to, and I kind of feel like I don't know.
I'm not sure Jeff went there.
Okay, so then do you want to, I mean, I'm just not telling the board what to do at all, but just vote yes on that, and if the board member wants to go. So I was gonna say, if no board member wants to go, just vote no on that.
Does anybody want to go?
What's his?
If you're able to go?
Jeff was possibly.
Jeff was, well then, yeah, if he
Okay,
wants to.
So
then-
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just vote that if he
Okay.
wants to, he can. We'll just leave it on there as is. Okay. Anybody else have any discussion before we close the work session?
And under personnel, I'd like to have number 3 pulled out separately.
I'm sorry, Theo, what was that again?
Number 3 on personnel.
3 on personnel. Let's see. Okay. Second on that,
No,
and separately on 11.
Because I agree with the talking to class advisors, it's just the department heads. So I don't even want to vote it down.
Do you not agree with the current ones or the, do you not agree with the current ones or the process used to pick the next ones?
It's a process, I want it to be
I think we
on
can,
a rotating basis, every year or every 2 years.
I mean, I think that's something
And
we
all
can work on
teachers.
separately. Chosen. I mean, we can vote on it separately, but I just want to clarify if you had a disagreement with any of the current ones that
No,
are
it's
up
not,
for approval or the
it's not
process.
moved, it's found.
Okay, so you don't have a problem approving the current list, but you'd like to work on how that's
And I
the
don't want to
approval
approve
process.
until it's changed, because we always just keep kicking it down the road, kicking it down the road. This isn't the first time I've discussed this. So that's why I want action now.
Well, we'll vote that separately then.
Yeah, we table it, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
That's okay.
Anybody else have anything they want pulled out, voted on separately before we start? Okay. We will adjourn the work session and move into the regular monthly board meeting. All right. We have the announcements of executive sessions. There was an executive session held on August 25th, 2022 for personnel interviews, as well as personnel issues. There was an executive session held on September 20th, 2022, which is tonight, for personnel issues. I will need approval, someone to make a motion to approve the minutes of the August 16th, 2022 work session and regular monthly meeting, as well as the August 25th, 2022 special meeting for general purposes. Do I hear such a motion? Motion made by Mr. Wallstrom, on second. Second by Theo. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Back to public comment. Public comment? No public comment. Moving into committee reports, if that's okay with you. Okay with that? Okay, just checking. All right, athletic committee, Mr. Wallstrom.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve items 1, 2, 3, and 4 as previously read in the work session.
Questions, comments? Do we hear a second? Second. Theo got it. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Personnel committee.
Motion to approve items 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 as previously read in the work session.
Questions, comments? Do we hear a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried.
Motion to approve item number 3 as previously read in the work session.
Okay, discussion? Second?
Second.
Second by Kay. Patty?
Richard Cree,
Yes.
Richard Gates,
Yes.
George Krenchek,
No.
Kenneth Menzer,
Yes.
Dr. Andrew Mulholland,
Yes.
Theo Sinclair,
No?
Kay Stiver,
Yes.
Gary Wallstrom.
Yes.
Motion will pass by a vote of 6-2.
Okay, motion passes. But that doesn't preclude us from looking at that process, if you want to bring that up. If you want to do that, maybe the next meeting if you want, if we have time. I have no issue doing that. Okay. Moving into building and grounds, Mr. Menzer.
Motion to approve items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and number 2 is mentioned in the work session.
Questions, comments? Your second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wallstrom. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Discipline and curriculum.
Motion to approve number 1, A through F, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 is previously read as me. Previously read, yes.
Yes. Questions, comments on those? Your second. Second. Second by Mr. Creed. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried.
Motion to approve number 11 is previously read in work session.
Questions, comments? Second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Wallstrom. Patty?
Richard Gates,
Yes.
George Krenchek,
No.
Kenneth Menzer,
Yes.
Dr. Andrew Mulholland,
Yes.
Theo Sinclair,
No?
Kay Stiver,
Yes.
Gary Wallstrom,
Yes.
Richard Cree,
Yes.
Motion will carry by a vote of 6-2.
Motion carries. Okay, Finance Committee.
Motion approves item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is previously read in the work session.
Questions, comments? Second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Messer. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Transportation.
Motion to approve items 1 and 2 as previously read in the work session.
Questions, comments? Second?
Second.
Second by Kay. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Anything else for the good of the order? Motion to adjourn? Motion, second?
Second.
Ooh, Theo got the second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Thank you all.